Good evening. I'd like to welcome you here tonight. Before we begin the meeting, I'd invite you to stand and join me in the pledge, and then Councilman Brian Powell will bring the invocation.
Father, thank you for a beautiful day. We love you and we praise you. And we just ask for your guidance tonight. We ask your hand to be on our residents. You would continue to protect us and bless us the way you have, and be with us as we deliberate today and help us to make the right decisions that would honor you, honor this city. We ask you to be with our military who are in harm's way, that you would bless them, protect them, be with our president and our leaders. They make the decisions they need to make. Thank you, Lord, for your love for us, for your hand of protection. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, thank you, Brian. I'd like to again welcome everyone to tonight's regular meeting of the Springdale City Council. This is Tuesday, March 31st, 2026, and we'll start things off by asking my Deputy Chief of Staff, Anna McKinney, to call the roll.
Mayor Sprouse.
Here.
Brian Powell.
Here.
Amelia Taldo.
Here.
Jeff Watson. Here. Mike Overton. Mike Lawson.
Here.
Aaron Huntley.
Here.
Randall Harriman.
Here.
Mark Fugerus.
Here.
And Garrett Hartland.
Here. All right, thank you, everyone. We do have a quorum, and we're at item 4 on the agenda. This is the agenda item that's on each regular city council meeting, where the council invites residents to come and bring items before the council that are not already on tonight's agenda. We ask that if you have such an item you'd like to bring forward, that you come to the podium. Please clearly state your name and address. Keep your comments brief, no longer than 3 minutes. We will time those. And remember that nothing you bring forward tonight will be addressed by the council tonight. Is there anyone that would like to address the council concerning an item that is not already on tonight's agenda? All right, good deal. We'll move on then to item 5, the approval of minutes. Council, you've had an opportunity to look those over. If there are no changes or additions, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
So moved.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, thank you very much. And item 6 is a let go of my button to turn my page. Public hearing, and I'm going to turn this over to Garrett Harlan, our city attorney. Garrett?
So item 14 is an ordinance vacating a portion of a utility easement on Moose Hollow Terrace, and that requires a public hearing, which is set currently for right now. Is there anybody here that's present to be heard on that hearing? Okay, so we're going to close the hearing, and then we'll take this ordinance back up as item 14 on the agenda.
All right. Thank you, Garrett. I'm going to call timeout just for a minute. IT is trying to get the live feed up. There's some issues, so let's give them just a few minutes. So you're welcome to talk amongst yourselves or whatever you need to do to kill time, but we will give him just a few minutes. We need to try and get the live feed up. This is awkward. Yeah. We could, let's see, what is it? We could do procedural motions. Let's go ahead and move on with the procedural motions if y'all are ready. I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move for both A and B.
Okay, we've got a motion for both A and B. If there are no comments or questions, y'all ready to call for the vote? Good deal, thank you. I'll call for the vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right, thank you. Guys, what are we looking like back there? We're ready? Good deal. Thank you. Thanks for your patience, everybody. Item 8, City of Springdale Quarterly Financial Report, and I'm going to ask Chief of Staff Colby Fulford to come and bring that. You've got copies in front of you there also.
Thank you, Mayor. We've got a financial snapshot for you. We do these every quarter, just to give you an update on some of the numbers that we have. I do owe you one thing tonight that Councilman Watson has specifically asked for in one of our meetings recently, and that is an update on the payment in lieu of process. Cody's going to go over that, our finance director, whenever I'm done with the numbers here. And if you see anything you want to discuss, just stop me and we can discuss it. On the first page, the preliminary fund balances. These are the funds that operate outside of the general fund, just as a refresher. The street fund stays pretty consistent. We usually stay around $6 million. We do get state turnback money every year, and that's what keeps that number where it is, and we're able to do a few things out of that fund. Library, mostly county money. Shiloh Museum Board, that is at $3.6 million. They help with projects and do things around Shiloh Museum with that money. Advertising and promotion, we're staying at about $1 million. Our Best Ballpark Fund is at $428,000. We will be collecting rent from them next month, and so that'll replenish that account. They've been doing some work out there. Airport Fund is at $15 million. $4 million of that is cash. The rest is going to be grants that we have received and insurance money on repairs we're going to have to make. Sanitation Fund, that stays pretty consistent around $600,000. And the Employee Health Fund, which is building, which we started 2 years ago. Our total unrestricted general fund is at about $25 million. I will say the unrestricted general fund, if you'll remember, the old CIP fund was one of these other funds that are listed. We did away with that so that we would have a better understanding of how all of the funds worked and operated, and that we could operate out of the unrestricted. So this January, we were very front-heavy on expenditures. So in order to balance that off, we used that unrestricted general fund to cash flow that, all of our obligations. And so we will be catching back up. And our revenue expense report was about $2 million more in expenses than revenues. People were buying vehicles right out of the chute. And so that number will go up by about $2 million as tax revenue continues to come in throughout the year.
Thank you for that, Colby. If y'all will remember, I don't know if anyone else caught it, but I guess it was either a committee or the last council meeting, I asked you about the unrestricted, and I was expecting to hear somewhere around 27 million. And Colby said 25, and I might have made a face, because he told me the next day why that was. So thank you for covering that. Appreciate it.
We had a lot of big expenses in January, so thanks to Parks and Rec.
Colby?
But we will get caught back up on that. Yes, sir.
Do you mind if I interrupt you on this
Absolutely.
page before you go to the next page?
Sure.
So that unrestricted general fund, that's a number as of what day?
The last day of February.
Okay. And you're expecting or hoping to give us these reports quarterly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know what I think would be really good, Mayor? I'll see what you think, is it'd be really nice to be able to kind of have a look back on that unrestricted fund. So we kind of, maybe 6 months look back, see, what the balance is.
Yeah, I've got all the financial reports that we've done over the past 2 years, and I can go back and create a chart for that and show you where it's been. Yeah, that's no problem.
I don't think we need to go back 6 years, but
Just so you can see a trend.
yeah.
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 Yeah, that and maybe also, I don't think we have to do it every report, but, and we may already do this once a year, but it would be good just to have on paper with one of these reports, the amount of money we added to the unrestricted, so we know what's offset and what.
Yeah.
We kind of know.
Yeah, we can also, usually what we do at budget time is we show you how much you've spent up to that point in the year. I think 2 years ago it was $12 million that we spent. And so that was drawing that down, but then the surplus pushes it back up. So we can show you all those numbers.
That'd be
that's no
great.
problem at all.
Good.
Hey, Kobe, on the airport fund, you said we had $4 million in cash and the rest was in grants and insurance. Is that what I heard?
Grants and insurance are going to make up the majority of the rest of that money.
Is that grants that we've applied for or grants we have?
Probably, well, I'm going to let Cody answer that because he deals with these more than I do.
Yeah, so those are grants we have, and that number is a fund balance for the airport, so it includes all assets of the airport. So it's cash, receivables, the insurance proceeds that are sitting there, and then those grants receivables that we've been waiting on some of those projects that have been flowing in. We've got some more coming in too here in the next quarter as well.
We are consistently applying for grants with the FAA. Garber helps us with that. They do a tremendous job, and so we are constantly getting money from the feds and from the state to improve the airport. Is there any other questions on the first page? If not, we'll move to restricted and designated fund balances. These are the most common funds that we operate out of. We actually have a lot more funds than this, but these are the ones we operate the most out of, that the council's probably the most familiar with. Act 833, those are ones that we come and ask for funds out of. It replenishes every year. Ambulance Equipment Replacement Fund. If there's any specific ones that you have questions about, I'll be happy to answer those. The two new ones that we have, the council created these last year, the Retirement Contribution Support Reserve. Just as a refresher, the retirement system that we have, we've been using Voya, and there's a forfeiture account that had been stockpiling money there. And so we elected to create a new restricted fund where we move that $900,000 out of there. We can use those funds to help make our retirement contributions to our employees. We're letting that fund build right now and investing that money to build that fund up. The 251 retirement, we're actually going to talk about that in a little bit. It's for elected officials who choose to forfeit their retirement funds for one half their salary for the remainder of their life. So we have put that into another fund. That fund will be going up soon, and we'll be investing that money as well. And that is a way to make sure that that money that they do forfeit is invested and we're actually getting a return on it instead of it just sitting in Voya, or which will soon be in Power. So those are the two most recent funds. Any questions about those? Yeah.
Can you just, I hate to put you on the spot, but could you just give us some examples of the committed capital improvements we have in that $6 million?
Yeah, so those are going to be projects that you've approved here to spend out of the unrestricted general fund. So we move it out of the unrestricted and we list it here as a committed for capital. So anytime we've decided to take on a project and we want to spend that, whether it's a street improvement, a fire station 4 we built out of the unrestricted general fund, that $4 million moved into this line item. And so now that we're finished with that, that's the remaining of things that the council has committed to capital projects.
Then my other question is, with our unrestricted fund being what it is right now, I'm wondering if it makes sense to keep that parkland contingency fund any longer. What do you think? Should we talk about that at some point in the future?
Yeah, and we have.
Set that up, it was kind of a way to save money.
Yes, sir. So we've actually spent money out of that in the recent years, and that replenishes because we take a certain percentage every month and we put back in. It's actually, I think we commit like $200,000 a year.
Well, we budget that, though.
Yeah,
So it
go in
goes
there.
in,
right. And so
Throughout the year.
every month I increase that balance by that amount.
We have piggy bank for the parks.
Correct.
but I sure wouldn't have, I don't know about you, Cody or Colby, but I sure wouldn't have any issue if we wanted to just put it in with the unrestricted, because it's all the same.
Yeah.
And we'd go after it if we have a parks item, just like we would anything else.
And there is plenty to do in those parks, the way it's
Well,
going.
you betcha. Colby, you got any thoughts on that?
Well, we did discuss it 2 years ago, and there was a project that had come up, and I think the consensus was, it's good to have it when we need it, and so, but it is one pile of money, as Overton would say, and so it wouldn't matter either way. I know we have parks needs that come up more frequent than other departments, and so either way.
Doesn't hurt to have it.
That's right.
It doesn't hurt to have it. We budget $200,000 a year for it.
Right.
So it does affect what you're budgeting.
We do have a project that was brought up. Haven't really settled on anything enough to bring it to you guys to discuss it, but it's probably going to be a $500,000 or $600,000 project in Parks and Rec, and so we would be able to use that fund up. So it is all the same money, though. Any other questions on that page? Wanted to give you a sales tax update. If you'll see on this third page, usually we have, if we do have a negative month, we have 1 month, negative sales tax in a year. It's usually 1 month. We're facing 3 in a row. Now, March's number is a little deceiving. We had the highest month we have had in years last March. We had an 18% increase. And so that's hard to have a positive month the next year for the same month. So it was negative 8.36. I know other cities were down as well. I think Bentonville was down 20%. So that 18 is hard to overcome for this year. And so sales tax is slowing down. The good news is we're so conservative in how we budget that we only budgeted a 2.5% increase. And I think things are going to bounce back. And I think we'll still end up in a surplus. Because if you recall, we only spend about 95% of what we budget, and that's as a safety net. And so that's also what replenishes your unrestricted general fund so that you can spend money on those capital items as well. So I do think sales tax will bounce back soon, though. And really the key to it is making sure you don't overproject your revenues. And I know a lot of cities are projecting 7, 8, 9, 10% increases, and we just don't do that because we just want to, for years like this, we just want to make sure we're okay. So. And then Cody also has information on the payment in lieu of. If you will, let me have you turn to that second page on the restricted funds. There is a line item there. Reserved payment in lieu of improvements, $331,000. That account was at over $900,000. And what we did was we went through and we analyzed all the projects that we had received money from, payment in lieu of. And we also found out that we had already spent money out of either the street fund or the general fund over the past 20 years. So we had collected money, but then maybe years later, we didn't have a good tracking system of where that money was, and so we spent it out of the general fund or the street fund. So we've reimbursed the city for the money that we've spent with the payment in lieu of money on projects that matched up. There was a little under $40,000, I think it was $37,000, that we are going to refund individuals that we've charged payment in lieu of, that we don't foresee us doing that same project. So the remaining balance that we have, you see there, the $331,000 are projects that we do know we will be doing. So we're keeping that money on hand. So, and then Cody can go over the process for you for payment in lieu of.
I left a little flow chart for you guys at your desk to kind of explain the process. And this is from the time of payment, essentially. So a developer, once they go through all the planning and engineering process, and we decide that, yeah, we'll take a payment in lieu of, and they agree on the price and everything, they'll go to the city clerk's office and make the payment. When we get that payment, it goes into a specific GL account and also a specific bank account. And then a copy of the receipt goes back to the engineering department. They place that on their project tracking spreadsheet that they have there. They'll do an annual review of that project spreadsheet. And then any projects that are wrapped up and where that money can be applied to a project that we've done with that money that we have, they'll report back to me and let me know. I will then move that money out of essentially that reserve or that restricted amount. We'll reduce it down and apply it back into the general fund or the street fund, wherever the project occurred, or wherever we paid it out of. On my end there, when we get the payment, I have a work paper that I keep for the audit that lists out everyone that's ever made the payment on there and how much they paid. And if I get a good description of what the payment was for, I put that in there as well, just for my own tracking. And then I go through every year and I update that. I review the account, all the money that was put in there, who paid it, make sure it's listed out, and we make adjustments to the balance. And then I send a copy over to the engineering department so they can update their records, make sure we match at the end of the year. You have any questions on that? Yeah, no problem. You're welcome.
All right, thanks, Cody. Anything else, Colby? All right, thank you. All right, item number nine, the Springdale Chamber of Commerce Quarterly Report, and Jay Seago, VP of Economic Development, is here to bring that report. Jay, good evening.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, leaders, and guests. Here are economic development highlights from the fourth quarter of last year. Springdale had a strong 2025 year. The top three projects the Chamber supported added nearly 600 new jobs and a combined $72 million in capital investment. Already in 2026, we're seeing significant Tyson investments in the former Fuller building downtown and the refitting of the former Cargill facility. We ended 2025 with more than 2,100 new jobs created in the last 12 months. The unemployment rate was at 3.4% as of December. In 2025, the city processed a total of 44 commercial and 443 residential permits, both positive trending data points. In workforce, the Chamber is supporting Springdale School District multiple times in the month of April. Over the next 2 weeks, there's targeted career and hearing events for skilled trades, medical, finance, and hospitality. This culminates into the annual CTE signing day, which is scheduled for April 30th, which will be at Springdale High. As many of you are aware, we continue to closely support the city's grant application to the U.S. Economic Development Administration in partnership with the Arkansas National Guard, requesting resources for the new facility at our airport. Page 2, Teslar Software's new headquarters is celebrating grand opening ribbon cutting along Jean George Boulevard next Thursday, April 9th. Ozark Point Place is a combined grand opening ribbon cutting for Down the Bayou and Everyday Bombshell on April 16th. UAMS new sports and ortho medical clinic on Watkins Avenue has a topping ceremony on April 24th, and the fire station number 4 is targeting ribbon cutting on the same day. In downtown, we're tracking AQ's plans to open in early summer, via Emma completing construction in the fourth quarter of this year, and the Sundry Hotel looking to open in the first quarter of 27. Lastly, Bill referenced during our annual meeting a few weeks ago, the Chamber is engaged with leadership from the Freeman Health System as they've entered into an acquisition of Northwest Health, and will support their transition. Pending your questions, concludes my brief. Thanks, sir.
Nothing? Okay. Thank you, Jay. Great report. Good news. All right, item 10, appointments and reappointments. I'll go ahead and read it. Item 10A, a resolution approving the appointment of Kevin Owenby to fill the vacancy on Springdale Water and Sewer Commission.
Move resolution pass.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Does Kevin happen to be here? Yep. Kevin? Thank you. I'm thanking you before they vote, but any comments? Anything you need to say, Kevin? Okay. All right. Call for the vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right, thank you. Again, thank you, Kevin. I've been in several regional wastewater and water meetings over the past couple of months, and I will tell you that you're serving on an important commission and of the best water utility in the state of Arkansas. And so thank you for your willingness to serve. Item 11, as Sharon comes, the planning report, commission report and recommendations. Sharon Tromberg, Director of Planning and Community Development. Sharon?
Thank you, Council Mayor.
All right, the first item that we have tonight, this is a rezoning on Butterfield Coach Road. The title of this reads, "An Ordinance Amending Ordinance Number 3307," the same being the zoning ordinance of the City of Springdale, Arkansas, and the plat pertaining thereto, by rezoning R26-06 certain lands located at 2544 Butterfield Coach Road from an agricultural district, A1, to a medium-density multifamily residential district, MF12, and a neighborhood commercial district, C1, and declaring an emergency. And this tract that is just on the north side of Harp Elementary, they're proposing a mixed zoning, with the majority of it being medium-density residential, and then the front part by Butterfield Coach being a low-intensity commercial. And Planning Commission voted unanimous in approval for this one.
Okay.
I'll make the motion that the ordinance pass.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Thank you. We do have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Any further questions or discussion? Is there anyone in the room that needs to speak to this issue? All right, we'll call for the vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Move the emergency clause be adopted.
Second.
All right, I'll call for the vote on the emergency clause.
Passes 7-0.
Thank you. The next item that we have is another rezoning. And this is in connection with a single-family subdivision that's being proposed on West Gibbs Road. This is a better view of it. So this would be another phase of Benedetto. The title of this rezoning, the title of this is "An Ordinance Amending Ordinance Number 3307," the same being the zoning ordinance of the City of Springdale, Arkansas, and the plat pertaining thereto, by rezoning R26-07 certain lands located at 7959, 7969, 7971 A through C West Gibbs Road, and a parcel west of 7959 West Gibbs Road from agricultural district A1 to a low-medium density single-family residential district, SF2, and declaring an emergency. And this next phase, Phase 3 of Benedetto, is going to have, I guess we don't have a, hold on. There's a snapshot of the plat. It's 14 single-family buildable lots, 1 detention pond, and a pedestrian connection to other parts of Benedetto in the southwest corner of it. And this was also approved, the rezoning and the plat unanimously at Planning Commission.
Move the ordinance pass.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Other questions or comments? Anyone in the room? All right, call for the vote.
Motion carries 6-1.
Yeah, one abstention.
Move the emergency clause be adopted.
Okay,
Second.
all right. Go ahead, Sharon, thank you.
Second.
Oh, emergency clause, I'm sorry. Okay, we've got a motion and a second on the emergency clause for that last ordinance. Call for the vote.
Passes 7-0.
All right. Now we're ready, Sharon.
All right. Our next is a rezoning, and this is for the school district for their equipment and bus storage facility on East Emma. And they're cleaning up some property lines, and part of that was coming into zoning compliance. And so this way, all of it will be P1 that matches what they have. The title of this reads, "An Ordinance Amending Ordinance Number 3307," the same being the zoning ordinance of the City of Springdale, Arkansas, the plat pertaining thereto, by rezoning R26-08 certain lands located at 1612, 1586, and 1498 A through C East Emma Avenue from a general commercial district, C2, to an institutional district, P1, and declaring an emergency.
Move for ordinance pass.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Any other comments, questions, concerns? Anyone in the room? All right, call for the vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Move the emergency clause be adopted.
Second.
Okay, call for the vote on the emergency clause.
That passes 7-0.
All right, thank you.
All right. Moving on, the next rezoning we have, this is for the Church of Christ on Robinson Avenue, over across from the local Walmart. The title of this reads, an ordinance amending ordinance number 3307, the same being the zoning ordinance of the city of Springdale, Arkansas, and the plat pertaining thereto by rezoning R26-09 certain lands located at 1400 West Robinson Avenue from an institutional district, P1, to a neighborhood office district, O1, and declaring an emergency. In this one, they are rezoning just a very small section in the back corner, just that little black box in the corner. And originally, the request was for a C2, but they revised it and they requested a downgrade to O1, as staff would not have recommended C2 because of the site constraints, but they're looking to rent it to an office for counseling services, so O1 is sufficient for that need.
Move the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the ordinance. Other questions or comments? Anyone in the room? I'll call for the vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Move the emergency clause be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the emergency clause. Call for the vote on the emergency clause.
That passes 7-0.
And our next is a rezoning seeking a commercial zone on Powell Street. I'll go ahead and read the title. An ordinance amending ordinance number 3307. There it is. The same being the zoning ordinance of the city of Springdale, Arkansas, and the plat pertaining thereto by rezoning R26-12 certain lands located at 1804 Powell Street from a medium-density multifamily residential district, MF12, to a general commercial district, C2, and declaring an emergency. And the owner has indicated that they want to seek a commercial use here. And it was approved by Planning Commission, 8-0, no public comment.
I'll make a motion that the ordinance pass.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Other comments? Anyone in the room? Call for the vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Move the emergency clause be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the emergency clause. Call for the vote.
That passes 7-0.
All right. And the last item that we have, it's a waiver connected to a large scale over on Oak Grove Road. That might be a better one. The title of this reads, a resolution approving a waiver, W26-11, of street improvements, drainage, curbs, gutters, sidewalks, and streetlights as set forth in ordinance number 3725 to Trade Pro in connection with L25-33, a large-scale development.
Can you kind of go over what the applicant is wanting to do with this?
And this might look familiar. It was one that you all had seen previously, and the difference is now they're coming back and they're seeking a waiver for Tract 1. Planning Commission approved a 2-year bill of assurance for Tract 3. So their request here tonight is for a full waiver of Tract 1.
What about Tract 3?
Planning Commission approved a 2-year bill of assurance.
That doesn't have to come to us?
It does not.
I move the resolution pass option 1.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve with option 1.
So it's in the resolution, Sharon, that's why it makes reference to the bill of assurance for track 3 in the resolution. If it doesn't come to us, why is that in there?
Maybe as an extra measure. So if it needs to be taken out or the opportunity to comment on it, if you guys were comfortable or running that.
Well, I guess I'm confused. How does the planning commission approve the bill of assurance instead of the full compliance with the ordinance?
Yeah, there's actually a small section in chapter 112 that actually allows payment in lieu of and bill of assurances to be granted by the planning commission and not require city council. Now, it's not very often. And sometimes they're probably still been brought to council in the past, but ordinance does.
Or sometimes we just recommend it as an option, I guess. Yeah, okay. And so this whole track came to us once before,
Correct, last fall.
and now they've divided it up?
Mm-hmm.
What about number 2?
That one, they have agreed, it's part of their large-scale development, and so they plan to do the full street improvements on that track 2 in the middle.
On track 2, they're planning to do, which,
I'll show you a
okay,
That-
which means what? They're going to do what?
curb, gutter, 8-foot sidewalk, street light. Widen the street if necessary.
They're not making any improvements at this time to 3, so they're doing a bill of assurance, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so then on number 1, how is it different from 2?
So that one, it's now been subdivided. It has a shared driveway, but it's a separate commercial tract that I think the owner might be here. I think they intend to sell, and so I don't think they know what other business is going to go there.
So they're only basically, this owner is only basically intending to improve 2 at this time. Correct?
Correct.
Sorry.
Any other questions?
If one sold and was, there was going to be some improvement done to 1 by the new owner, they'd have to come before the planning commission for that then, right?
Yes, sir.
And I think after visiting with Stephen and Joe a couple of weeks ago, the lot 1 that's in question, if they sell it, obviously it'll get done by the new person.
Right.
But I think if you guys agreed to ever use it, you agreed to come back and do it at that time.
A new development plan, if they were going to build anything more than 120 square feet, would have to get permission, and we'd catch it then.
I just remember this being a really unique piece of property that Sharon and I have talked with multiple times with different people, and that power line causes a major deal.
Where's that at?
It's this black line right here.
It's
It's
100
right here.
foot wide.
And
electric
it
is that.
makes this piece really, really difficult. I know the neighbor next to it had previous interest in it, but they couldn't make it work. And I applaud Stephen and Joe for, they've really worked hard at coming back. They got some misinformation. They'd been here at the meeting before, and they didn't think they had to be here, or they would have been here and maybe answered a lot of questions a month ago. But here we are. But they've worked hard to try to make this piece of property that we could probably sit on for a long, long time with nobody
Is this the power
developing.
line?
This is the power line right here.
That's the division line. I think it's that right there.
It's this right here. It's the black line, right? In the
Yep,
the
50
big,
foot on
thick
each
black
side of
line.
that black
It's a
line.
big deal. I drive it a lot. It's unique, but anyway, I've rambled enough.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve with option 1. We ready to take action on that? Is there anyone else in the audience that needs to speak to this? Okay, then I'll call for the vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right, thank you, Sharon.
Paul. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll move on to item 12 now, Finance Committee report, and Chairman is Jeff Watson. Jeff?
We had several items come to the Finance Committee. I believe all of them were forwarded to council with recommendation for approval. The first item, item 12A, is a resolution to be addressed by Colby Fulfer. The title to this resolution is a resolution amending the 2026 budget of the city of Springdale, Arkansas.
Thank you, Councilman Watson. This was a resolution that's brought to us due to the retirement of our wonderful city attorney, Ernest Cate. And as we discussed earlier, the 251 retirement fund allows elected officials to basically relinquish what the city has collected in their retirement for opting to have one half of the salary for the remainder of their life. And so in order to do that, with his option, we're going to have to amend our budget. And the line item I have there under administration is 101-0101421.30-10. We had originally budgeted $136,368. We will need to amend that and increase it by $53,720.
Move resolution pass.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Other questions or comments? Anyone? Call for the vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Item 12B has to do with funding for Dean's Trail. The title of this resolution is a resolution authorizing the execution of an engineering services contract for Dean's Trail Phase 3B environmental clearance.
Yeah, so we received some federal money to be put towards Dean's Trail 3B. When you get federal money, you have to do an environmental clearance that we weren't anticipating before. This is for a categorical exclusion that Garver is priced at $59,100. Happy to answer any questions.
I'll move this resolution be adopted.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Other questions or comments before we vote? Or anyone in the audience? All right, call for the vote.
Motion carries 6 with 1 abstention.
Item 12C, Ben will also address, has to do with utilizing federal funds for the Watkins Trail project. The title of this resolution is a resolution expressing the willingness of the city of Springdale, Arkansas to utilize federal aid funds for the following project, Watkins Trail to 48th Street. I'm sorry, Watkins Trail, 48th Street, 48th to Cambridge.
So it's the time of year where we apply for grants through regional planning. So the next three are all related to that. This first one is a design grant through carbon reduction, and it's for $125,000. And this is to design a trail from 48th Street at the new Watkins Bridge that we're building over I-49 to get back to the youth center. So that's the limits of what we're trying to do. And it's an 80-20 match. So if we were successful, we would need to come up with $25,000 in match money.
Move resolution pass.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Other comments or questions? Anyone? Call for the vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
The next item, item 12D, Ben will also address similar resolution. The title of this resolution is a resolution expressing the willingness of the city of Springdale, Arkansas to utilize federal aid funds for the following project, Watkins Trail, Maple to 412.
Yeah, so this is, again, a grant. Now, this is the TAP grant, or Transportation Alternative Program grant. Also an 80-20 match. We're asking for $500,000 for construction, which means we would need a local match of $100,000 if we're successful. This gets from Highway 412 to the library, which is where the Maple Street Trail and the Pride of Springdale Trail come together.
Move resolution pass.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any other questions before we vote? Anybody in the room? Okay, call for the vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Item 12E, is titled, "This resolution is a resolution expressing the willingness of the city of Springdale, Arkansas to utilize federal aid funds for the following project, East Emma Streetscape."
So East Emma Streetscape is a bond project. However, we have this grant funding opportunity that we'd like to pursue to offset some of those so we can reallocate some of those bond funds to another project. We have not bid Emma Avenue, but our estimate is at $5.2 million, so that's what we'll be asking for. And then we would need a local match of 1.04 if successful, which we would anticipate coming out of the bond program. 80-20 match.
Basically, probably worst case, we would be offsetting, we'd be freeing up an extra $4 million or so in the bond program.
Correct.
If we're successful.
That's correct.
Move resolution pass.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Other comments or questions? Anyone? Call for the vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Item 12F, titled, "This resolution is a resolution expressing the willingness of the city of Springdale, Arkansas to act as a co-applicant for the following project, Gene George Phase 3, city limits to Johnson Mill Boulevard."
So this is an application for the STBG program through regional planning. We would be a co-applicant on this with the city of Johnson. We've built Phase 1 and Phase 2, which gets us from Arvest Ballpark down to our city limits. This would pick up at the city limits and take it down to Johnson Mill Boulevard. We've not bid this project yet either. Our estimate is we currently have $3 million available from previous STBG money. And so we would use that money plus this additional $4.08 million in request, which would be a local match of $1 million, which the city of Johnson will be matching. So it would be none of our matches. We're just co-applying because that makes our co-application look better and score better in this grant program.
Having two jurisdictions.
Correct.
Yeah.
It makes it of regional significance,
Right.
which.
Move resolution pass.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second to approve. Other questions or comments? Anyone? Call for the vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ben. We'll move on to item 13, Community Development Block Grant Committee, and Chairman is Aaron Huntley. Aaron?
Thank you, Mayor. We are going to hear a resolution approving and adopting the 2026 action plan for the Community Development Block Grant Program. It'll be presented by Dean Allen, the CDBG Program Manager here at the city.
Afternoon, Mayor.
Dean.
City council members. I'd like to introduce to you to all the nonprofits that showed up tonight to give a small 30-second discussion over their organization. We're going to start with BTX Sports.
Hello, everyone. I appreciate standing in front of you and hopefully getting some money again this year. We've kind of opened up a little bit. I'm doing a lot more with veterans. We still have the at-risk low income, but we have drug mentoring classes, meetings, Girl Scouts. We're turning into more of a community center than just more than a Boys and Girls Club. Do you guys have any questions?
So is that due to increase in funding? Are you able to reach more? Was the change based on?
Yeah, our funding, you're providing 7 year-round, and we'll have over 15 homeless during the summer, so we're doing over double,
Thank you.
changing kids' lives.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it, guys, have a great night.
Yeah, thank you.
Next will be Compassion House.
Hello, and thank you for your time. Compassion House is a nonprofit maternity home serving pregnant and parenting young mothers across Arkansas. We were founded in 1989, and we have served over 1,000 mothers and their babies in that time. And we are the only residential maternity home for pregnant and parenting teens in Arkansas. So because of this, we receive referrals from across the state. So many of the girls that come to us are facing incredibly difficult circumstances at home, and we provide stability, help them stay in education, and teach them life skills to promote independence. And by doing that, we are breaking cycles of poverty, and we've been doing that for more than 30 years. Any questions?
Anyone? Thank you.
Thank you.
Feed the 479.
Hello, Mayor and members of the council. My name's Dennis Smiley. I represent Feed 479. First, just let me say thank you for your support and the opportunity to be here tonight. Our main program is a choice pantry where we fight food insecurity in the region. We're open 4 days a week. We serve about 150 families a day. The need is still great out there, and we would like to have your continued support. And the one thing I'd be happy answering questions on statistics and numbers, but the one thing we're really proud of is the number of times of access we have for our community to come to Feed 479 here in Springdale. In 2026, we will have 275 food distribution services in the city of Springdale. And we can do that with your support, so thank you.
Any questions? Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Next will be CASA of NWA.
Hi, hello. My name is Christina Carnatz, and I'm the Development Director with CASA of Northwest Arkansas. CASA is an acronym. It stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. We recruit, train, and manage volunteers who serve as direct liaisons, as representatives to foster children in our area. In fiscal year last year, we had 642 children served by 333 volunteers. And so what we do, homes change, schools change, caseworkers change, a lot of those things change for these kids. And CASA aims to have one volunteer with, one case. It could be one child up to 3 to 5 children, but they are with them throughout the entirety of their case, just serving as their voice for them throughout their journey. And that's all I have.
Questions? All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Next will be the Continuum of Care.
Good evening. My name is Quinn Emmett. I'm the director of the Northwest Arkansas Continuum of Care. We're located in Rogers. The COC is responsible for coordinating a region-wide response to homelessness. We've been partners with the city of Springdale through your block grant program for some years now. We certainly hope to continue that. Each year in Springdale, through a combination of emergency hotel stays, street outreach, emergency supplies, and inclement weather, we serve approximately 70 to 80 unique individuals here in the city of Springdale. I've also added an additional component this year of assisting those in need and when appropriate with transitional housing and sober living placements. Are there any questions from any of you?
I don't think so. Thank you.
Thank you.
And our next three, they're brand new to the CDBG program, so we're excited to introduce you to them. First one's going to be Freedom Finder.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. My name is Christine, and I'm the Executive Director of Freedom Finder. Freedom Finder provides resources in the form of hotels, transportation, burner phones for victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. We work alongside the Springdale Police Department very closely with their teams and officers to help provide resources and to help people get out in the immediate moments. Currently, right now, today alone, and this evening, we're trying to place 6 victims of domestic violence and sexual assault in hotels located here in Springdale. In applying for this grant, the money will help us to be able to meet the needs of the victims and to be able to help more victims as well. We work alongside CASA, we work alongside the Food Bank and 479 here in Springdale, and it's a great honor to serve alongside all these great organizations. And so together, we come alongside a victim and we say, hey, we are here to help. We help provide the shelter, we help provide burner phones, transportation. We connect them with law enforcement, with the social workers. We also connect with the different shelters here across Northwest Arkansas. And when they're full, they call me. When we're full, we call them. And so we really try to work hand in hand. But having resources and being a part of this grant would enable us to be able to help serve the victims of Springdale more. Are there any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next will be Samaritan Church.
Hello, I am Matt Newman from Samaritan Church. Thanks for letting us be here today. Our church has a lot of initiatives, but one of them that we're really excited about is how do we come alongside those experiencing housing insecurity. Our yearly program is, for the 3rd year, we've hosted the emergency winter shelter. This year we averaged 50 neighbors and 12 pets for multiple nights where it felt like 20 degrees or below. But the real goal is to build relationships with these neighbors. And one of the ways that we continually do that on a daily and weekly basis is we have acquired an agape house where 4 men get to stay and really focus on sustainable housing, dignifying work, and biblical community. And so both of these programs that we run are fully fundraised, and been a real privilege to see these neighbors grow. So thanks. Any questions?
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
And the last one's going to be the Diaper Collective.
I think you skipped the VFW. Does he want to speak?
Jerry, I'm sorry. I'll get you. I'll get you.
Hi, Council. My name is Audrey. I'm the Executive Director at Family Network. We're a nonprofit located here in Springdale that works with families, vulnerable families during the early childhood, so like pregnancy through age 5 of their children. One of our programs is the Diaper Collective. We're the only nationally affiliated diaper bank in the state of Arkansas. We've been operating for 6 years, and we currently serve around 1,600 children a month on average with diapers. So a lot of people don't realize that diapers are not covered by WIC, they're not covered by SNAP. And so it is an area where families don't have support, and that's where diaper banks can step in. And studies actually show that whenever you invest in diapers for families, it can actually impact healthcare, and it can impact the economic state, right? Because families, their children are more healthy, they're not having those ER visits because of complications with using diapers for too long. And then also families are able to save money and keep their jobs, because obviously if you take a child to a daycare facility, they require diapers. Some families aren't able to afford diapers, and it creates this domino effect. So this grant would enable us to continue to support Springdale residents through our partner agencies like the Bread of Life Food Pantry and the Arkansas Coalition of Marshallese Food Pantry as well. Any questions? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And last but not least, the VFW.
My name is Jerry Halsey. I'm the commander of the VFW here in Springdale.
I'd like to start out with, we helped 143 veterans this year so far. As you all know, the Patriots Park is opening in Fayetteville, veterans housing. We have got 7 families out of the hotels and into permanent housing there. So we're doing really good there. We also got 37 new veterans with their disabilities, which is helping out them a lot because they was down and out. Nobody even really knew they was even entitled to disabilities. So with that, and getting everybody out of hotels and getting them fed and things like that, we appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Go ahead, Dean.
Is there any questions? And thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City
So
Council.
Dean,
Yes, sir.
do we do this every March, this action plan, or is it every March that we have
Every
to deal
March.
with it?
Yes, sir, every March. So what happens is our fiscal year is July 1st to June 31st. And right around the caper time, where I turn my caper in of my last year, I start basically January 1st on my new action plan. And I get this turned in by June to July, and my latest date is August. And if I can get it in earlier, we got our funds earlier. That's why we get our funds right around August, September. Most people get them in October. So we get ours a little earlier so we can spend that money faster.
But then we have to do a report with this action plan and name these nonprofits in that
That's correct.
plan, basically, in March.
That is correct. And that's what I'll do after it's approved. That's what I'll do.
When do
next
you
week.
start taking applications?
June 1st to February 1st. So I will call all my nonprofits that I know, even some that didn't apply. I call them and I get a visit going on with them and discuss things with them and see if they want to apply. And I also reach out to other nonprofits that are in Springdale to see if they apply. Some don't have a 501c3, some do. So they have to have a 501c3 to be part of this process. Did that answer your question?
Dean, wasn't,
Resolution pass.
Second.
Dean, real quick, wasn't, if we didn't pass this tonight, you lose some funding? Isn't the deadline today?
Negative. What would happen was we would revisit this next month and go through that, but that makes my timeline about like that big to turn it in. And if there's any mistakes with it, we start losing time with that funding to get it turned in properly.
Okay. I understood it at committee when we talked about it last week.
Yeah.
When I asked about the deadline, I thought it was today, is because they said March 31st,
Yeah.
I thought.
So what I'll do is, in the next couple days, I'll put it into my action plan, and right around mid-April, because I have to do a 15-day notice, then I have to do a 30-day notice for comment. Then after that, I have to wait, that's basically 45 days, then I can turn in my action plan. So I have a month and a half where I have to wait.
And it may be impossible, but I'll go ahead and bring it up just because I'll forget
it's
later in the year. And Jeff touched on it at committee, the 15-6, and it may be impossible to do. Every one of these are great programs. I don't want to discount any of them.
Correct.
I know they all ask for more, but I'm kind of with Jeff that sometimes 15-6, a couple of these may need more, and some get less. I don't know if it's even possible, but if there's a way we can really dive deep into who needs what, instead of just taking a lump sum of money and saying, this is what you get. And it may not be possible,
Right.
but that's just a concern I have.
So what happens is on their application, there's a spot where they say, how much do you want? And some of them ask for 24,000, that's our max. And some of them ask for 9,000, some ask for 12. It just depends on what they're looking for. And that's what I tell them is, ask for what you need, not for the max, but ask for what you need. Then I take all of that information, then we have our meeting, our public meeting with our nonprofits right around mid-January. I have that because it's between that it's between that application status, and I can sit and have a discussion with them saying, look, it says we're above our 15% threshold. Let's discuss on how we can get it smaller so we can meet that 15% threshold, so we can come to you and make this more fluid instead of discussing who gets what and who gets what. So I try to.
Yeah, and I would imagine, I know I'm part of Boston Mountain Solid Waste District. When we do our recycling grants, you have asks for, you have a expected pot of money you're going to be able to deal with. And you have asks, and everybody gets together and they sort of talk together, and many usually volunteer to come down a little bit, take a little off their ask to help everything fit.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think you're doing a great job
Thank you.
with,
I do appreciate
with,
that.
I know we had a lot of issues, I think it was last year, that we, wanted to see the process and know more about it, and you've done an excellent job. Thank you.
Well, it was weird, before COVID, we were only spending 9%. I mean, that was most I could spend on, because it was just, that's how it was. And all of a sudden, when COVID hit, we got $1.4 million with COVID money. Then I started reaching out, talking to people, talking to different agencies, and we finally, we spent that money, but everyone now knows, hey, Springdale has public service money we can use through our program. So now they're coming to us, so.
Well, I want to, and I know the council will join me in thanking all the providers that are in this room that make a huge difference in the lives of many of our residents. And in that, they're helping our city and they're helping everyone in our city, whether they get directly helped or not. And so I'm thankful the council, a couple of years ago, we started moving to that allowable 15%. And because we all know it's needed, and that is one way the city can help in those instances to help our nonprofits do the great work that they do. So, any other comments? We have a motion and a second.
The only thing I'd ask, Dean, and I agree with Emil, you do a great job in other parts of CDBG besides just the nonprofit. I mean, it's a lot bigger job than just that, but this is just a part of it.
Correct.
But I would ask, it just kind of felt like you came to the committee and we were needing to pass it at the next council meeting.
Right.
So I would ask maybe if you could come in February just with a little more of a, not necessarily even an ask at the February, in a committee meeting in February, but just kind of a, hey guys, here's what's going
FYI,
on.
okay.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that would be helpful.
All right, will do. I can do that.
Good.
Appreciate it, Mr. Watson.
All right. Any other comments or questions? Anybody else in the room need to comment? Yes, sir. Come on up to the mic, please.
I would love for us as a community to come together as a nonprofits, because I'm working with veterans, I'm helping with homeless. We can all do each other a favor. Please check out BTX, come see us. We'd love to help you guys in any way possible. We're here for our community.
Great.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? Then, guys, if you'll bring that up, I'm ready to call for the vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right. Thank you, council. And thank you all again for your work. Thank you, Dean. All right, we're at item 14, an ordinance vacating and abandoning a portion of a utility easement pursuant to Arkansas Code annotated 14-301-301 and declaring an emergency and for other purposes. Garrett, anything else?
No, you pretty much said everything I was going to say, but I would say the emergency is for the fact that this was moved. This is pertaining to the public hearing that occurred at the beginning of this meeting, and this was originally moved when we changed city council meetings because of spring break. So I think there's pending construction. That's why the emergency exists.
Move ordinance pass. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions by anyone in the room? Call for the vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Move the emergency clause be adopted.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the emergency clause. Call for the vote.
That passes 7-0.
All right, thank you. Any comments from council?
I would just like to know what this paperwork is
I'm going to get there.
Oh, okay.
Anyone else? Comments from department heads? All right, city attorney?
I have nothing.
Okay, thank you, Garrett. Okay, I do have just a couple of comments, and I'm going to direct you to a couple of pages that we've given you. First of all, having to do, there, you'll find two resumes for an opening we've got coming up on our Civil Service Commission. Bob Downham, a longtime civil service member, has his second term expires tomorrow, actually. So I wanted to remind you of the process you chose to use last time we had an opening, and I thought it worked real well. I hope you all do too. Where we give you any applicants, you've got two before you tonight, and we will continue to monitor the website, and any other applicants that come in, we'll get those to you as well. And what we would like to see, and what y'all have done before, is if the first council meeting in April, which I believe is the 14th, is that correct? You would go into, toward the end of the council meeting, you would go into executive session. All the applicants will be here, and you can interview those applicants in executive session, and then hopefully come out with a decision for an appointee to fill that position. That's how we've done it before, and so that's kind of how I moved forward on this. If you want to change anything, certainly that's up to you. But we've got the two applicants we've got so far, and we will, between now and the 14th, if we get any other applicants, we'll pass those along to you as well, so that you'll be ready on Monday night, or on that Tuesday night council meeting, to go into executive session. We'll put it as an agenda item toward the end of the agenda. Does that sound okay with everybody?
So is there not a cutoff before we would meet?
I guess we could make one, but we could, if you wanted to cut it off when the agenda goes out for that council meeting, we could cut it off then. Couldn't we, Ernest, Garrett? And no problem with that? That way you'll have, by the time the agenda goes out, that Friday before, you'll have any additional resumes. That sound okay?
I'll move for that.
Okay. All right, that's the way we'll move forward then. And you can take these, and Anna, let's make sure they get these electronically too, so they'll have them on their devices. And then if there are any others that come forward and we add, well, they'll be all in the same place. Okay? Good deal. Thank you all for that guidance. And the next item I wanted to talk to you about.
Can I ask a question real quick,
Yeah,
Mayor?
sure.
So if somebody is a sitting appointee on one of the boards and theirs is expiring, do they have to reapply, or could we ever vote somebody back in? I know Bob's probably saying he don't want to, but.
Our practice, and this is a long-standing practice, is after 2 full terms. Now, if some are appointed to fulfill a term, then they may get more than 2 terms if they want to continue to serve. But it's been our practice since long before me that we try and limit to 2 full terms. And Bob is ready to, I've discussed this with Bob, and he's ready to let someone else have a turn. So, okay, good question though.
I think Jerry Van Hoos instituted that policy.
That's where I got it.
Before Jerry was the mayor, I think you could serve
forever.
And a lot of people did.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you got to get voted in, so it's nothing. All right, the other option, and I'm going to be very careful how I choose my words here because I don't want to get ahead of anybody. But I do feel like you all need to have a heads up about a process and what the state allows to fill a council vacancy. We're going to have some council vacancies because of council members moving out of the district, and they will come up a couple of times at least that I know of this year, sometime during the year. And it's laid out there, the state statutes and how to appoint a replacement and what restrictions there are on calling for a special election. Depending on the timing, you may not have an option to call a special election. You may have to appoint, and the appointment, I believe, would have to be for the remainder of the term. Both of these terms that I know about will expire at the end of 2028. So it would be an appointment for some period over 2 years. To call a special election with that 70-day restriction in the timing there under option 2, may be difficult to do an election. I wanted to lay these options out for you so you would have them. So as these openings are announced, we'll know ahead of time what our options are, and we'll be ready to move on them.
Can you do a special election for both vacancies?
It depends. Well, you may be in a situation where you'd have to call 2 separate special elections because depending on the timing of these openings, you may not be able to get them in the same special election. And special elections are expensive. And I'm not sure we want to do one, much less 2.
Can the general November election date be used as a special election date?
I think it can if the timing was right. Correct, Ernest? Garrett, y'all weigh in on this.
Yeah, so you're right. That's correct. It's limited by that 70 days that you have to. Correct.
And if we had 2 vacancies that came open, you can have those on the same day as well, correct? I mean, they don't have to be
If the
different
timing
days.
worked out.
If timing was appropriate.
If they're both declared in the same month, that would work.
Different days, right, okay. And I guess there's a third option that we don't do anything?
I'm not sure that's an option. Is it? Is state require us to fill within so many days?
Look, I'm going to speak on this. I would think, and I've got the statute. Give me just a second.
That could put us in a bind, as I'm sure you would understand if.
I think.
Also, spending a bunch of money for a special election could put us in a bind.
Well, I would say the plain reading of the statute says shall. You shall, after the vacancy is declared, at the next meeting, you shall either make a decision whether you're going to appoint someone to fill the vacancy or whether you're going to call a special election. So I don't read the statute to allow you to do nothing.
But we don't, they have to declare which they're going to do, but they don't have to do it the next meeting, correct?
I don't think I understand your question.
I think you determine, yes, we're going to appoint, or yes, we're going to call a special election, but the appointment doesn't have to happen that next meeting.
Correct.
Okay. You're going to have to learn to understand my questions that aren't very clear.
Mayor, might want to talk to Sandy about that.
Mayor, one other small point. There is a deadline that comes up in August in order to get on the November ballot as well.
Right. It'll be the same time 4 of you file if you're running for re-election.
So if it were to happen after that, you wouldn't make the deadline to get on the ballot for November.
So we could have a very different looking council by the end of this year. So, but a lot to think about, and I just, I wanted to bring it up so you all would know. You'd have it on your radar, okay? Anything else? I don't have anything else.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn, I'm assuming. And thank you, Brian, and we stand adjourned. Thank you all for the great meeting. Appreciate it.